So far, I have removed all the easy stuff. Mostly nothing particular that needs any explaining. It was pretty easy to take off each component, but we're going to try to show you how to remove this intake. Mostly doing this for myself so I don't forget how everything goes, even though I've worked on dozens of these. But kind of giving myself an overlay of how everything goes. I pulled that out of the intake. Also, one thing I know about Sprinters, they like to use a lot of the same bolt sizes, but they're varying lengths. So be careful of that when you're changing one of these motors. These motors are actually really simple to get out. And I'm not going to point out obvious stuff that should be really rudimentary to you, like flipping over. You know, we don't want to get the screws all lost, so we'll take this bracket out, flipped it over, put the screw back in, because then it's a little bit loose. But there is a bolt back here in the back that you have to take out. It's pointed this way, and the size that you use, most of the bolts are probably going to be E10, and you're going to use an extension to get that out the back, and that'll be able to remove this tube here. So I've done this stuff before. I've never taken this intake off, which is what I'm going to do, but I'll just let you know these hoses are going to be tight, so I'm going to use some hose pliers and I'm going to wiggle them. I did, instead of taking this sensor off the top, which is, I believe, your water separator sensor, I just took the 2 screws out because I've broken them before in the past, and we'll try to pull these off. So once I've taken the screws off, I'm able to twist the whole sensor like that, and then I'll be able to pull that up out of there. Now I took the clip, flathead screwdriver, pulled that off, and then wiggled this and was able to pull the end of that out of there, which hooks up to this vacuum line right here. Remember, try to disassemble as little bit as possible. I'm just taking the intakes off. These Mercedes, they have lines ran, and they only really work one way. They're very tight, compact, and you want to pay particular attention to how everything is ran and put it back identically, because it'll make it really, really hard for reassembly if you don't know the routing of everything. So, you know, even there was I think it was this line ran on top of the bracket for the fuel filter, etc. When I pulled the foam out, I pulled the plastic cover off first, and then I pulled the foam out, and I pulled the front up like this, and then I reached around the back and I pulled that out. I cut the zip tie that held the wiring harness to the bracket. Okay, so I went ahead and loosened the 18mm nut on my crossover fuel line, took the 18mm nut, loosened it up on there, and then removed the E10s that held that down. Removed the fuel injectors, which were also 18mm, so I could get that out of the way without bending any of this stuff up. I did have to bend just a little bit on the front to get the front one out, and then it moved up so I could get that out of the way. And then I unplugged the fuel rail, electrical connection in the rear. So far I've removed the 3 heat shield covers from the turbo. There's one back here, an E10 that you're going to end up using an extension, and you'll be able to get that one out, and that'll remove the heat shield cover. Okay, so now we're going to start removing the exhaust manifold bolts for the back of the turbo, and they are going to be E12s. I'm going to tell you, if you notice that I've got a long 3/8 right here, you need a lot of leverage. These bolts do not come out easy, and they are not simple to remove. They're in very awkward positions, so you're going to end up, you know, just to even get this one out, which I think was the simplest one, I just took the ratchet and the socket and I had it down like this, and it's probably the easiest one of them all to remove. So we're going to start removing the other ones, and I'll let you know if there's, you know, special tips and tricks to getting them out, but they are certainly tight. So the procedure that I'm going to use to remove these bolts is I'm going to be to the passenger side of the vehicle. I'm going to have one arm up there and then the other arm on here to be able to get leverage and push back. It might also work exactly the opposite. Would be better if I pulled with my left arm and held with my right, but because of the brake booster, it'd be in my way, so I can't get as much leverage as I need. So to get the rear bolt out, I had to use a 10 millimeter wobble, 3/8 wobble on there with a 6-inch and a 3-inch extension. I just made sure that I pressed down real well because the 10 millimeter doesn't fit on the E12 quite as easily. Has a little tiny bit of slop to it, but it came out real easy, thank God. And hopefully that was helpful. Now there's a smaller pipe that crosses over to the passenger side of the vehicle and goes up underneath the exhaust manifold, or what would be the exhaust manifold underneath there. You're going to use 2 of the E10 screws. You're going to take them out. Be careful because there's a thin washer. There's a couple thin washers on there. And then there's a 3rd bolt that harnesses it to the other pipe. And them washers like to fall off, and so does the gasket. Then you're going to jack up the passenger side of the vehicle, and you're going to go from up underneath. And you're going to take, I'm not sure if it's an E10 or E12 yet. You're going to take out 2 screws that go this way. And then there's 1 screw down here that goes in this way. You're going to take that out so you can remove that pipe, because that allows you access to the back flange and the other bolts that are on the other exhaust downpipe manifold that's there. It blocks up your passageway right there. So we're going to do that. So the pipe I speak of is straight down there, and you can see it cross over the under. With the way I'm positioned underneath the truck, I can't reach my hand up there and show you, but it's right to the right of them, that little line, and in between the muffler right here, and I can kind of point to it right there. And then the bolts are back down. I don't know if we'll be able to see them, but they're underneath there. And we're going to take a long extension and get them 2 bolts out. So now I've got my bolts out from this manifold. All the bolts are out. I've got the crossover pipe that goes up and under the exhaust manifold over here. I've got them bolts out. There was a securing bolt back here, approximately right there. Then we're all E10s on the crossover pipe that comes out. Now I'm switched back to my E12, and we've got the very top bolt on the exhaust manifold. Sorry, I'm just pointing, but I think it's going to be easier to explain. We're going to take that one out. Okay, now I'm going to get the bolts that point this way. There's 2 bracket bolts down below, and then right above that one, there's 1 little bolt there. Them are E12s, and then there's 3 bolts that hold this flange on, and the bottom bolt on the flange that comes up into the turbo is a slip bolt. So it's got a slit down there. It doesn't go in, it's not a hole like the other 2 that are on top. Now I'm putting the ratchet in there, but mine's really stuck, so I put a socket and an extension on the end of the ratchet to give me a little bit more leverage. And I got this bent head ratchet. I don't think you're necessarily going to need it, but you're also going to want to make sure that you take your left hand, if you're right-handed, and hold the ratchet square on the bolts as you try to get the leverage to be able to turn them, because they're still real tight. I will say this, once I started getting the exhaust manifold bolts out that are pointed this way and this way, once I got 1 or 2 of them out, they weren't so stuck. And I think that's because it was all jammed together, you know, and put together real tight. But they start getting easier after a little bit. So to get the rear exhaust, the turbo clamp, there's 2 bolts that are down below the turbo outlet hose. I had to come from underneath, and because I couldn't reach them, I had an assistant, my wife, hold the 3-inch extension on the 3/8, and I was able to spin it from right here behind here to be able to get them out. I don't think I could have done it without her, so much thankfulness of that. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but that comes off at an angle like that for the bracket bolts that hold the turbo on. Now I took a T45 Torx with the 6-inch extension. I unplugged the heater core, whatever this is, and then moved it off its bracket. Made it easy for me to get the 2 bolts out. There's 1 there where that's pointed at, and then there's 1 straight down from here. We're almost home, boys. Okay, so now I ended up taking this bracket off. You could have took that off before. and I've got it loose, but I had to get it loose. I had to take a pry bar and pry against the turbo housing to the exhaust manifold. Now I got it loose, and I suspect that I'm going to figure out how to get it out of there here in a second, and I'll let you know. Okay, so I have a bolt right here that is a 13 millimeter that goes on the exhaust, and it holds this bigger pipe. From what I've seen, you can take that bolt out and move that exhaust back so you can get the inlet pipes off now that they're unbolted. Okay, so that bolt that I just showed you on the exhaust has a nut backer, but it did come loose, and then I was able to just reach my hand around there with the socket on it and spin it out. So that's how I got the bolt out of there. Whoops. With that bolt out of the way, you should be able to take the whole exhaust and push it up against the firewall there, and then have an assistant wiggle the turbo out, or vice versa. Got it. So we twisted it counterclockwise, and as you can see, we put a bolt in there with our pry bar right there, made sure that our exhaust was up against the manifold, and then pulled it out. I think I got most of it on camera, so I hope it's helpful. Okay, now if you watch the video before you take it apart, you kind of see what's going on. This is the back of the turbo. We got that bolt out of there. We didn't have to take that out because there was a bracket down here that blocked these two bolts for coming out, so you couldn't actually take this component off of there. But we've got it out of there. The turbo's in good condition. Now we can take the intake off. If you're going to watch the video, see us take the intake off, that's great. I'd probably put up two videos, one for turbo removal and one for intake removal. I think I actually took that out, so I'm not worried about that.
So I heard one of them fall down.
I could see it.
I hope the video was helpful. Please subscribe, share my videos, follow me. If you need to reach out to me, hit me up on Clay's AC and Auto Repair on the Facebook. Remember, if anybody else can do it, you can do it too, and I'd never done this, so kudos to me and you.